Hi Nathan, we went back and forth a lot last week on this pizza order one, and there's a number of things we need to discuss here, so I thought I'd just make a quick video and take you through some of those. So here's basically a little pizza cost or pizza order form thing. I just made a simple one. Do be aware that what you want to do is to check your naming of everything is in your properties window. Just click that little drop down and make sure that everything's named. I know I could tell right away that, like, for example, your button isn't named because it still says button 1 in the code window. So make sure you're naming all those things because it makes a big difference when programs get larger, having things named correctly. Okay, so in here I just took the code that you sent me and pasted it in here to this click event that I have for button cost. Okay, just to start out here, so I gave you steps for an algorithm this week, right? And so the steps of the algorithm: build your form. Okay, you did that. Start commenting your code. Okay, so at the top I just put the name of the program and my name, and then throughout we'll comment the steps of the algorithm here. So the next step is to dimension your variables that you need. Okay, one thing to note is when you're naming these variables, put a 3-letter prefix for the variable type and then capitalize the descriptive part of the name. And you are right though that the cost of the pizza is decimal, that's currency. Rent is decimal as well, although I will say you could make a case for rent being like a constant. So the difference there is all constants should be capitalized, and you would say const here instead of dim. I don't remember what was rent again. I'd have to go back and look at the assignment thing. Was it that they're going to spend $1 on each pizza for rent? I'm not sure about that. Check the number. But here again, when we create a constant, that would be, we initialize the constant to what its value is right away. Okay, same thing. So we got materials here, which would be DEC materials because it's a cost like that. I would say the delivery charge is another constant, so we should say DEC, and we capitalize it like that. And here again, not remembering the numbers off the top of my head, but you can make sure those are right by looking back at the assignment. It was like $1.50, I think, delivery charge. And then pizza diameter, yes, is a double. We should name it DBL. And labor. What was the thing here with labor? Well, that was something that was going to be a constant for each pizza too, right? Look it up real quickly here. Yeah, so labor cost is 75 cents. So here again, labor is a constant. And it should be DEC labor, and in all caps because it's a constant. And we also say what it is. It's going to be 75 cents for each pizza. Now, certainly constants can change over time, but that's where, and that's another thing, if we're dimensioning these, we really should put our constants all up in one area. Let me just, because then, because rent or labor costs or some of these other things, or we might change our delivery charge at some point in time, but we wouldn't change that kind of mid program, right? So they're constants for now, but if I put them all at the top like that, then if I do, let's say the delivery charge does change someday, I've got that there. Okay, so I've created all these variables that are constants. By the way, I did go back and look. The rent is $1 per pizza. Labor 75 cents for pizza. Okay, so we got those in there. Now there's some of these things that we get from the user, and some of these things we have to calculate, right? But now, so here's my comment. Here's where I set variables, was in that whole section above. You don't need to mention it each time, but at the bottom of that I should. Now, I've already dimensioned pizza diameter. Don't dimension it again, or that's going to wipe out what we had before. So we've got DEC, pizza diameter, and what does it equal? Oh, it's DBL, excuse me. That's a double, yeah, because it could be like 7 inches, 10.5 inches, right? So it's a double. It's not currency. So pizza diameter. Now here again, the user does give us that, but this is kind of the same problem we maybe talked about before. I can't take the whole text box and put it into a double variable. I can take the text of the text box. So the user types a number in the text box. I put that in the variable. I can't put the whole text. The whole text box is just an object. So I can't put the whole object in a variable, but I can take its text. And be aware for right now, there's better solutions to this probably in the long term, but for right now an easier one for us is we want to put this text through a val function because it's a string and I need to do some mathematical things with it. So putting it through the val function, a val function will take numbers that are in strings and pull them out of there. So this is where I got input from the user. Your mistake just was that you were trying to take a whole text box and put it in the variable instead of the text that was in the text box. Okay. Here again, so now we are going to calculate the materials. Here again, don't redimension the variable. You dimensioned it up here. Now we're going to use it. So this is DEC materials, right? Because it's a dollar amount. And the equation was it equals 0.05, excuse me, didn't mean to do that, times the pizza diameter squared. Okay, see all these error messages are going away here. So this is where I'm performing a calculation for materials. Now text cost doesn't equal this. We've got a variable for pizza cost, right? It's pizza cost that equals this. So DEC pizza cost equals DC labor see, once you get all these named right too, the IntelliSense helps you not have to type so much as you can just pick those things off of there. We got delivery charge and we got materials, right? So in the end, yeah, we are going to add all those things. After we figured out how much the materials are going to cost, then it's just a matter of adding all the constants to the materials, and that's the cost of our pizza. So this is the step of the algorithm that's perform calculations, right? So the last step is to display the answer, right? So I've got some label on the form, label cost. Here again, label cost text is what I have to put the answer into the text property of the label, and it's going to equal the pizza cost, right? Right? So this is where I've displayed the answer. So here again, I just think if you follow the steps of the algorithm, do them one at a time. Once I've set variables, then I don't have any more dim statements because I've dimensioned them all. Now I'm going to use them in the steps where I get input from the user and I perform my calculations and then displaying the answer in the end. So hopefully that helps. If you have questions now, this isn't everything to this. There's other things you're going to have to do to this program to be complete, but it looked like there were kind of a lot of misconceptions there, so I wanted to kind of go over that step by step with you. If you have more questions, let me know.